Hey horror fans, thanks for joining me for this review of Slasher. Uh, could be season 1, could be season 4, depending on where you're watching and viewing this, and I'll get into that in a second. Um, but cast and crew information down below, and I'm going to read the plot, and this time not off IMDb, um, but here's the plot of this season. Um, this season follows a wealthy but dysfunctional family gathering for a reunion on a secluded island. Their old wounds and competitive rivalries flare up when the family realizes a mass killer is on the island, intent on cruelly picking them off one by one. Alright, so like I said, depending where you're watching this, this could be season 1 for you or season 4. Apparently, this series has bounced around a little bit, um, but I think a lot of people might have picked up on it when it landed on Netflix, and seasons 1 through 3 were there. I don't know if they're still there. I did review seasons 1 through 3 because I kind of watched them all together, so I got to do that. Um, then I wasn't sure if we'd see any more of this series, and then long and behold, Shudder picked it up, and that's um, where we are now. So if you just never seen it on Netflix and picking it up now, if I saw correctly, I think Shudder listed it as season 1. Um, but if you've been watching this from the beginning, this is actually the 4th season of it all. Um, so if that's confusing or whatever, I mean, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Um, but just to let you know, if you're watching this on Shudder and you didn't know that there were other episodes and you did enjoy this, I definitely encourage you to go back and check out some of the prior seasons. Um, as with, I think, any show, you may like some seasons better than the other. Um, but if you liked this one, or at least what they presented, in something you want something in a kind of similar fashion, whatever, definitely go back and check out um, some of those other seasons. Um, I'm not really going to rank them, at least right now. We'll see what happens on Shudder, and I would hope that they do more, um, but we'll see. And maybe at some point when it looks that there is no more, then maybe I'll rank them all, but I don't know that there's a point right now. Anyway, let's get to focusing on this season. And I definitely think Shudder made a good decision by bringing this. I enjoyed the other ones. Um, but here you go again. This time it's a lot. Some of the other times have been separate families, different people, different groupings. This time it's largely about one family, and this obviously is a theme used before in plenty of other movies. Is how money kind of divides a family here, and the I don't know if I guess he's the grandpa to some, the father to others, whatever. I guess let's just call him the man with the money. Here is he's dying, and he's basically brought all of his living family back to this island in order to basically tell them all that he's dying, but all that they basically have to play a game, a deadly game, a challenging game, whatever, with the winner basically getting his fortune. And he has a nurse and so forth, and another, other people have helped set this up for him. And obviously, when you have family like this and so forth, everybody wants a piece of the pie. So some people believe they deserve it more than others, and so forth. And obviously, there's big family history here between everybody. Some people like one another, some people hate each other. different things have happened to different people. So you have all these kind of elements amongst the room. You have a melting pot of people here. Um, some with a lot more hate than others, and but everybody's basically forced to play this game. But as they kind of get into this game, soon enough they're going to find out that there's something else going on here, and that there's a killer amongst them, and the killer is kind of using this game and the opportunity on the island um, to exact their revenge on all these people because of their own personal issue with them, or whatever the reason may be, that they feel like killing all these family members and people here. Um, like I said, there's going to be. I guess I can't assume you've seen, there's going to be a spoiler free. I'm not going to give away anything here. Um, but, I guess, there's obviously the biggest twist is who the killer is going to be. And if you've watched the other seasons, there's always that great mystery. And I think one of the things Slasher has done is done a pretty good job of hiding whoever the killer is eventually going to be. And, maybe you at certain points in certain seasons, um, you know, at least at the start, it's really hard to figure out. They obviously kind of try to get you to go in certain directions, um, but I think at the end of the day, they do a pretty good job of keeping that person's identity hidden. Um, but there's some other twists and wrinkles along the way, especially with this one. Um, because you have a couple of different things that happen to different family members. Some people that have been away for a long time, that have come back. They have unresolved issues with other people. Um, you have family relations between different groups. Some feel closer to others, and so forth, and some are willing to stick up for some and not stick up for others. So you get a lot of infighting, and just basically you have a lot of elements here that are ready to explode on their own. Throw money on top and uh, the competition for that money, and then eventually a killer. Then it becomes a survival thing, and some people are going to take it as an opportunity. Well, I'm going to kill this person. Um, because I think they're the killer or whatever. I'm going to take this moment to exact my revenge or my hate out on this person, even though they may or may not be the killer in the end. Um, so it's not only the killer that's going to be doing the killing here. You're going to get to see some other people who are going to do some killing. Maybe if they don't do some killing, they're going to do some damage to other people. There's a lot of, like I said, infighting. And I don't mean just verbal arguments. There are some verbal arguments, but there are going to be some fights here. There are going to be people left injured and so forth along the way as we move on. Let me see if it says here how many episodes this was. 8 episodes. So there's apparently 8 episodes of this. I didn't really count them up. And I think they're almost an hour approximately. It doesn't say here. They're about almost an hour, give or take, an episode. But some of the episodes are straightforward. Just one on top of the other. And then I think, some of the episodes have either moments, or I think there might be one real episode where it kind of focused a lot on the past. But you're gonna get and it kind of did this in some of the other season episodes as well. As you're gonna get the current, and you're gonna get what's happening to the group as is, and then it's gonna flash back to the past, and it's gonna clue you in on some of the individuals and some of their past, and past relations with some of the other characters. Like I said, there's gonna be things revealed about certain characters that are gonna make you think that maybe they're a killer, or show you why they hate a certain person, or why their relationship with other person is not working out the way you want or the way they want, and so forth. So you're gonna get a lot of that. But regardless of that, that's all story and all BS and blah blah. Um, I think the beauty of this is if you're a horror fan and you like blood and guts and you like a good old killer, this is just should do it for you. It doesn't have to be that 80s themed vibe. Whenever we say slasher, we kind of think back. At least some of us think back to that. Um, but you're gonna have a killer here, and I think if like again, if you've seen any other seasons here, there's a lot of good kills here. You're gonna get to see some blood and guts. There's a wood chipper in this one that's used. A couple of people are just gonna get split open. Guts are gonna come out. Um, I don't want to spoil too many. Um, some are a little bit more creative than others, but if you're looking for kills, if you're looking for blood and guts, and if you don't really care about the story and the setup, obviously some people like to find out who that killer is and kind of enjoy the lead up to that. I think that's something here. They give you that as well, but if you're the more simple horror fan who you just want to see some good kills and some bloody action, yeah, you're gonna have to sit through a lot of story setup and so forth, and a lot of mystery, and like I said, there's a lot of the fighting amongst the family as it is, but this is going to give it to you. I mean, it's called slasher for a reason, and you have a slasher here who's going to do some damage, who's going to kill a lot of people, and like I said, even some of the people are going to kill some of the other people, so it's not always going to be just the killer. So you kind of get that as a bonus, um, and um, you know some of them are executed a little bit better than others. There's one towards the end. Um, I like what they did overall. I like the kill, but in the end, it was a little fakish, and not really buying that happened. But I can appreciate the blood and guts of the moment and so forth, and I liked all that. So it's 50-50 there. Um, so yeah, I think if you've watched any other seasons, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't enjoy this if you're in for the blood and guts. Um, like I said, you may or may not like the story here. I thought this was a little bit more of a typical story, with the family exploring. Some of the other seasons maybe had um, a little bit different, things going on. And one of the seasons took you to a kind of a campground, which is always exciting. Um, Another season kind of took you, and it was more of a winter theme. And I think one of the other seasons was kind of mostly in an apartment setting. So they've kind of done couple of different things. Here we're on an island. We're there's a big house, so there's, I don't know if you want to call it a mansion, a house, whatever. So you have different things playing out in different rooms, but then there's a lot of stuff going on outdoors as well. So that that's kind of the setting here. But yeah, I just I can appreciate what they're doing here, and how they have it set up. And if you've watched all the seasons, you're going to have some returning actors who have done some of the other seasons. You're going to have some new faces. So that's also some of the things that have occurred through some of this. Some of the actors have done several seasons, and sometimes you get new faces as well. Um, it's just one way or the other. Um, but I think at the end of the day, um, this is a good home. Being on Shudder is a good home for it. Hopefully Shudder liked having it. Hopefully it does well on there. I would certainly like to see more seasons of it. Like I said, um, you know, the kills are good. They make them nice and bloody. Um, you know, some are a lot better than others, but I think at the end of the day, you're going to get your fill from that. That's what you want. You want a high body count, you're going to get that. And then you get, the mystery of trying to solve the slasher. It depends, if you want that or not. The acting is solid enough, and so forth. Um, and I think, this one, like I said, was 8. I think the others were saying the same ballpark. So, you're not overdoing it here. Um, so with that, I think I'm going to give this one, I don't remember what I gave the individual other seasons. Um, but I liked this one as well. I'm going to give it 3.5 pools of blood. That's out of 5. Um, and definitely encourage that they check this out and the other seasons. I don't know if you want to bounce back and forth between Shudder, Netflix, or wherever the other seasons are showing now. I don't know if they're still on Netflix since Shudder took over. Um, but hopefully, if Shudder does have possession of it all, hopefully they'll show the other seasons. I don't know. Um, Whatever. That's my thoughts and my recommendation. I hope you guys check it out. With that, horrorsquarereviews.blogspot.com, where you can find more reviews. These video reviews are there, but if you're interested just in the video reviews, you can just subscribe to the channel. Um, if not, head over to the blog, check out some written reviews, plenty of them there. And Twitter, Facebook information down below as well. You can reach out to me there. We can talk about this, talk about the season, prior seasons. If you just want to reach out, talk horror, talk other stuff there, that's fine as well. If you have something for me to review, we can do that there in the comment section. Feel free to comment on this video, comment on the series, whatever you want to throw in there. It's fine with me. And I guess I will catch you on the next review.